And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of MMA Live at 5 with the new channel name Fights with Friends. I think that was a great new name for the channel to reflect the kind of content that I'm becoming more content heavy on right now. I am going to do some more of the opinion kind of things in the future. I'm going to cross some of them on this channel, but I will be taking a lot of the opinion things and non-MMA things, eventually news reviews, onto another channel. And I have two partners that I'll be working with on that, and the announcement for that will be coming hopefully very shortly. And we'll cross promote some of it on this channel to get that kicked off, and hopefully help my two co-hosts launch their channel and just diversify myself. Whatever you do, diversify. I had a lot of positive feedback, some negative feedback for my announcement earlier today. Since then, I talked to some close friends of mine that I've known for a long time. Basically, anyone I've known for at least 10 years, 10, 15, 20 years. And I talked to them about the direction I'm going, and everybody was super supportive. Almost everybody said that this was something that they thought I should have been doing a long time ago. Not so much maybe the YouTube channel, but the entrepreneurial route. If you're sick of your job, if you're sick of going to the same damn office every day, if you're sick of hitting that clock for 9 to 5, for a lot of us, you know, bullshit pay, barely enough to drive to work and pay for our lunch, and maybe hope to have enough to pay the bills by the end of the month, and gee, maybe we get to take our kids to a movie, then dream. Look out there, see what it is, see what else you think you can do with your life. Any of you who missed the announcement earlier today, I announced that I will be quitting my full-time job. I've been a grocery manager for 2 different chains for 20 years. I'm going to work part-time with an online or on-demand merchandising company called Jive, where I set my own hours. It's less money. Thank you very much, Mitchell Trevino. Thanks for tuning in, man. I was just saying, telling everybody, you know, follow your dreams. It's always been my dream to be an entrepreneur, to do my own thing. I really don't like being told what to do. I have a huge issue with it. And a lot of other people were like that. I started looking at some of the people like Shaquille O'Neal, you know, went to work at McDonald's. He's like, this isn't for me. Joe Rogan, it was the same kind of thing. He's like, get that fuck you money and then say fuck you, respectfully. You know, not in a derogatory term, but he's like, if you know, if you have that ability and you don't do that to take care of your family, then why not? I'm going to get a little bit personal here for just a moment. We have 2 kids in high school. Me and my wife have both been working ridiculous amount of hours. She's a teacher. She's working 60 hours a week. Just her 2nd year in the school district and classroom she's in. So she's rewriting all the lesson plans. My kids have busy, hectic schedules, but they haven't quite got their driver's licenses. And the job I was working at, they were giving me, I was getting 40, 50 hours a week, but it's split days, 3 opens, 2 closes. I felt like I was giving up a lot more of my life than what I was getting paid for. If you feel like that, you know, I would suggest you try to look for other avenues. Find something you're good at. I didn't know people were talking about Anderson Silva versus Roy Jones. Yeah, we're going to get into that. That's like the second thing we're going to get into. So let's go ahead and get into the show. Enough about me. So let's wrap up what we went through with the last forum, you know, the last Fights with Friends, the Bellator and UFC this last weekend. Very fun, very successful. I wish Bellator hadn't been slotted for the same time. Thank you for the thumbs up. Appreciate that very much. Anybody else who's not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. But, of course, Rory McDonald was upset about being snubbed for the main event in favor of Chael Sonnen versus Rampage Jackson. Silva, the best to ever do it. I'm a huge Anderson Silva fan. I think in his prime, I don't know at that weight that anybody could have taken him. You know, the main event being moved didn't seem to hurt Bellator's numbers, however, as they peaked at 1.34 million viewers, despite going head-to-head with one of the biggest UFC cards since Conor McGregor last fought. Huge success for Bellator there. Too bad their main event and co-main event were kind of lackluster. As you may have seen in my rant video earlier in this week, I was not excited about everyone's pay. Of course, Rampage Jackson, Chael Sonnen, they each drew $300,000. Seems very fair. Chael Sonnen won, of course. Do it under steroids, yeah. Let's get John Jones and Anderson Silva in there and Dream. I'd like to see Dream become more like Pride was. Honestly, if everybody's on board, but I do worry about the health of fighters, especially people getting in there on PEDs. Roy is baiting. I'm sure Anderson could hang, but Roy is sharp. Yeah, Roy's getting older, but yeah, he's definitely baiting him. So on to the Bellator. You know, to wrap up this week real quick before we get into the Roy Jones thing, Chael, of course, will take on the winner of the April 28th match between Fedor Emelianenko and Frank Mir. I'm really looking forward to that match, even if it's one that should have happened 10 years ago. My pick on that is Frank Mir. This week on his podcast, You're Welcome, Chael was very candid when he talked about how much bigger and stronger Rampage was. He attributed that to his style during the fight. DC Maldvolkan, he could not put Silva away, though he can still hang with the best. DC's an animal, and I respect that guy more and more every time I hear him talk. Seriously, I just think he's a great guy. But Chael said Rampage hit so hard, his chest still hurts a few days later. So what I missed on the Fight Companion, because I was trying to do the UFC and Bellator at the same time, and because of the conflict, and I will not try to do that again like that. I apologize for the confusion. Roy Jones would beat the crap out of Anderson Silva. I mean, Chael Sonnen outboxed Anderson Silva. Just think about that. In the first match, he had some success. I'll say he had some success. But yeah, what I missed on that Fight Companion was I thought it was really cool. They brung all of the Bellator heavyweights in the Grand Prix tournament in the cage at once. If anything, it was a great photo op for anybody that was there. I'd like to have a picture of that framed. I want to start putting a lot of different pictures. We're going to change this. Change the stage and the filming area a little bit to where I have different pictures behind me, different photos, some of them that are made by family, some of them things like fighters. Like I have an autographed Mike Tyson poster from back in '86. I had an autographed Roy Jones Jr. Poster from when I ran into him when he fought Clinton Woods in Portland. And super nice, super gracious guy. One of the best moments of my life outside of things of family. See Michael Page versus Rory McDonald. I think Rory would maul him. I love Michael Page. I think he's super entertaining. I don't think he's at Rory's level yet, though. The Grand Prix tournament, though, the next fight in the tournament, will be Roy Nelson and Matt Mitrione on February 16th. That's an incredible fight. I earlier picked Matt Mitrione to win the whole thing. And I kind of feel like they're putting their number 1 and 2 seeds against each other in this first fight. I don't know if it was a random pick or that was done purposely, but that would be the two guys I would pick as the favorites. Winner of that fight will fight the winner of Ryan Bader and King Mo Lawal. Ryan Bader also could be another sleeper. He could end up winning it. Major injuries for this last week's Bellator card included a right eyebrow laceration for Douglas Lima. He's got a mandatory 60-day no contest unless cleared by a doctor. But Rory McDonald, if you guys have seen, look up the pictures. He had a huge hematoma on his right leg. It appears that his right leg is also fractured. Who wins, Amanda Nunes or Cyborg? I'm going to get to that. Sorry to cut you up, but I am going to get to that. That's part of the show. And Also, McDonald has a possible fracture to his right hand, so it looks like he's looking at a possible 6-month suspension without doctor clearance. Let's wrap up UFC 220 this last weekend. Pay-per-view numbers are still coming in, but it broke the Boston attendance record. 16,015 people was the live gate. They pulled in 2.45 million from the live gate. Of course, this channel broke a personal record by far with 30,000 people watching worldwide. But yeah, so that was really awesome, and that you know, was one of the few things that pushed me towards getting away from the corporate world and working for somebody else and diversifying myself in other things that I can do for myself, not just YouTube. For any of you that are out there that are worried, hey, how is he going to make enough money to survive off YouTube? There's some other things. Yes, I did, Kid Green. I did the stream with my son. He's still doing some stuff after school right now. Michael Page did just have his boxing debut, but he won by knockout. He said that his next fight would be in the cage for Bellator, though. He's still technically on contract with them, and they allowed him to have that boxing match, kind of like the UFC allowed Conor McGregor to fight Floyd Mayweather. So that was very nice of them, if you ask me. So at that event, though, Dana White did something he almost never does at events. I called for the fight he wants to see next. Thanks for another thumbs up there. Everybody, please hit that thumbs up. Anybody who's not subscribed, if you could hit that, I'd appreciate it. He called for Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier. So in an interview with MMA Junkie I was reading, Cormier said he would forego surgery and said he would be doing platelet-rich therapy, which he has done in the past, also known as blood spinning. Yo, what's up, Cap? Zoltan, hola. Thanks for tuning in, guys. So, yeah, I was listening to the Sunday show. Don't want to see DC versus Alexander again. Jimmy needs to shut up. Volkan nearly killed him. DC beats Stipe. I think that would be an amazing fight, Key Green. I think that, honestly, could definitely happen. But this is how freaking tough and how nice Daniel Cormier is. So Sunday's show, the Ariel Helwani MMA Hour, DC versus Glover. I just don't think Glover's at that level anymore anyways. Kane will beat both. I don't know. Stipe outbucks DC and stop takedowns. I want to finish this up, though. Like I said, DC was on the Ariel Helwani Hour, and he was on the way actually to the hospital, and he was going over the phone on his Bluetooth, calling into the Ariel Helwani show. He was set up as a guest. He was on his way to get his MRI, and he was apologizing to Ariel Helwani and thanking him for moving his time up in the show so he could be on there because he knew he had made an obligation. That's how much of a man Daniel Cormier is, and I used to honestly not be the biggest Daniel Cormier fan, and I just didn't know enough about him. Everything I see about him, I just think he's more of a great guy all the time. The MRI did show a slightly broken shoulder. Yes, DC people would fuck Stipe up, I think. And it also showed some damage to the ligaments in his wrist, which sucks for him. He says he wants to forgo surgery. Gustin needs next shot. I agree. Beat Glover. Glover versus somebody for shot after that, but I prefer DC versus Stipe. I'd love to see the fight. But Cormier says he wants to forgo surgery if at all possible. The last time he had this kind of injury, he went through platelet-rich therapy, which has also been known as blood spinning. If you guys listen to Joe Rogan Experience, you probably kind of have an idea of what that is. Kobe Bryant did it. He had to go to Europe at the time. And he said it extended his career 10 years. What they do is they heat their blood up and they spin it really fast, and they re-inject it back into him, and it helps them heal. It does a lot of things that I don't understand, but it does some stuff with the white blood cells. There's definitely some better videos on it than mine. If you guys want me to do a review on that, I will in the future. Or stem cell therapy, which Demetrius Johnson recently had done to his shoulder. I find stem cell therapy very, very interesting. If you want to watch a really cool video on the advances of stem cell therapy, watch Joe Rogan episode 1066 with Mel Gibson and renowned stem cell doctor Neil Riordan. Very damn close, Sultan. Did you watch that show, Joe Rogan with Mel Gibson and Dr. Riordan? That was one of the most amazing podcasts I've ever seen. If you guys did not see that after us, please write that down. Episode 1066, Dr. Riordan with Mel Gibson. I don't want to ruin all of it. Let's just say Mel Gibson took his 92-year-old father to the doctor, and he was basically on his deathbed. And he's 100 years old now. He's out of his wheelchair. He's doing incredible, following stem cell research for 12 years or more. I haven't been following it for quite that long, but so that certain facility, and I know I'm getting a little off base of MMA here, but that I find this super interesting. That certain facility in Panama, which has the most liberal laws in the world since 2004, they basically allow the best kinds of stem cell therapy and no embryonic, so there's no more moral dilemma on that anymore. It's stem cells they take from your own body, grow them in a petri dish. My wife has severe rheumatoid arthritis and also a thing called sweet syndrome, which is an autoimmune deficiency where she gets actually bruises and lesions inside of her bones. Her feet swell up to the point. Lately, she's been embarrassed. She's 5 years older than me. She's 44. She's had to take the Speedy Shopper sometimes at grocery stores lately. She's been in a lot of pain, and I'm really trying to save up enough money when I get my retirement or my ESOP from a job I had a couple years ago where I'll be getting a good payment. We'll be going to Panama and hopefully taking care of her. They've been very successful in treating autoimmune deficiencies with that particular therapy. So let's get into Roy Jones Jr. versus Anderson Silva. So umbilical cords are like 80% stem cells and almost all are thrown away. People will start freezing them to heal any injuries or live longer, and they need to start freezing them. There's absolutely nothing unethical about it. They're not using, they've decided now that the controversy over the aborted babies, all that stuff, those cells aren't even effective. They actually, when they inject into people, the small time that they were doing it, they found out that they actually turned into tumors. So anybody that tells you that stem cell therapy is unethical and that they're using parts of babies and embryos and stuff, put them in their place, do the research first, show them the articles, and let them know they're full of shit, because this is the future. This is going to heal so many things, and we need to get it legal here in the United States. But for now, we're going to Panama, hopefully within the next year, and I will be doing a lot of in-depth videos from over there. I'll show you guys as much of the lab as I can. Let Roy put Silva away once and for all. Okay, great. God, I love both those guys. God, I grew up watching Roy Jones Jr. since the Olympics. 1989, it was or 1988, excuse me. I was 10 years old. Don't go to hospital. Drugs don't work. Use herbs instead of Dr. You cured cancer. Is it MMA or boxing? Or I said it would be a boxing fight. Roy Jones Jr. is 48 years old, so he came out with a statement. He won his last boxing match. The guy didn't have a whole lot of experience, but here's what he said. He made a statement. This will be my last boxing match. This is before his last the fight he just fought. Unless Anderson Silva decides he wants to make it happen. For him, for the money that we will generate, because we tried to do it first, I will still do that just for him because I know he wants to do it, and he does really want to do it. It's something I wanted to do, so for him, I would come out and fight. All we need is for Dana White to do is to let him go. Step aside, let him free of the contract, and we can make it happen. Dana White, that's the only obstacle between me, because Anderson wants it, I want it. Dana's the only obstacle, not giving him the okay. He said, to one of the greatest of all time of your sport, which is Anderson Silva, why not let him go? I agree with Roy Jones. I don't know that you let him out of his contract. And I don't know if Anderson Silva necessarily wants out of his contract. Depends on what happens with USADA. But if you made an exemption for Conor McGregor while he was holding 2 belts to fight Floyd Mayweather Jr., Jesus, I think you can make an exception for a guy that built the sport, one of the pioneers, while he's not even allowed to fight right now. I'm sure Dana would allow that as long as he makes money with it. Yeah, make it another co-promotion. That was the first co-promotion that the UFC ever did, was for the Mayweather-McGregor fight. And I think this is a huge fight. I would pay for it just for the hype. I'm a sucker for hype fights, though. Hopefully it doesn't disappoint. But Roy Jones sent a specific personal Twitter and Instagram to Dana and says, it said word for word, I'm going to read what he said. Dana, it's your boy. When you weren't nobody, I treated you like you were somebody. So a favor for a favor. Let your boy do what he got to do out here. It's a perfect situation, a perfect fight, a perfect opportunity, something all the fans will want to see. He has boxing experience. He's not like Conor McGregor. We had no boxing experience as a professional. It's a more realistic fight. With my age and with him also knowing much about and studying me for so long, it's definitely a more realistic fight and definitely much more winnable for him than it was for Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, he might be trying to bait him a little bit. Roy Jones is 48, and Anderson Silva used to be a professional boxer. So you never know. But yeah, I say, yeah, let him go. Let him fight. What the fuck? Everybody wants to see the damn fight. Let's make it happen. Jesus Christ. Betting odds. Let's get into, I don't think it's more realistic, but sure would have hype. I'd have a ton of hype, RS. Oh, God, they could hype the hell out of that. You got to show a lot of highlight videos of Roy Jones and Anderson Silva, and you got to make people nostalgic. You got to give them some of those member berries, as they'd say on South Park. I love that term now. I'm going to steal that. But, yeah, and you got to start showing some of those old flashy knockouts. Dana's such a twat acting like he's the emperor of fighting sports when he personally doesn't know nothing about fighting. He was a boxer himself. He did have some boxing matches. South Park, my shit. I love South Park. Been watching it forever, Cap. But yeah, he was a boxer. He was going to fight Tito Ortiz in a boxing match, and Tito Ortiz, from what I hear, kind of bitched out. So I think Dana White does know something about fighting, but he's definitely not the one getting in the cage. So step aside, Dana, and let the fans have what they want to see. Let's get into Joanna Jedrzejczyk, JoJo versus Thug Rose Namajunas 2. So even after Thug won the first fight, Joanna's coming in a 2-1 favorite. I don't know if that's fair or not. Does this mean they think it was a fluke that Thug won? Is it disrespectful as a champion? Or is it the fact that Joanna held on to the belt and she, you know, kind of beat so many girls, was thought off the top, and Rose kind of just came in, you know, with this whirlwind knockout, and nobody knows exactly what will happen. But just Tuesday, a couple days ago, Rose Namajunas opened up on JRE about her strategy going into the first fight and all the chaos surrounding it. Absolutely nuts. She was saying the night of the fight they were in New York, there was a rumored Antifa, huge Antifa protest, which there was one. There was a bunch of rumors online that they were going to make a bunch of attacks. So, I mean, she was very nervous, and she's kind of a nervy girl as it is. But she went into her game plan for that first fight. She talked about how JoJo likes to get in your mind. She likes to put a lot of things out on Instagram, you know, talk a bunch of shit, get up in your face at weigh-ins, push your head up against your head, push your elbow against you, all that kind of stuff. And Rose said from the beginning, she knew all that. She said she knew she would knock JoJo out, but as far as the mental game, she said she was just going to completely ghost her. She thought that was the best way to deal with that. Just don't respond to anything. Don't go on social media at all. And JoJo addressed it. She's like, what's going on? Rose Namajunas isn't doing social media. Why isn't she doing social media? So it clearly got under her skin. She did a great interview about an hour and a half on Tuesday on JRE with her husband, Pat Barry. I gained a lot of respect for her. I didn't know a whole lot about her before, except for her name was Thug. She shaved her head, and she was an aggressive fighter. She actually seems like a very nice, peaceful person, especially for a fighter. She doesn't like to talk smack for fights, and she trains her ass off, and she likes to help people. So she seems like a good person. Joanna, the other end, she was on the Ariel and Helwani. Joanna is a superior fighter. Rose had Jesus with her first fight. Joanna will win the rematch. I do pick Joanna in the rematch. Rose goes out in every fight for sure. Rose would get better this time, even though I want Rose to win. God bless Rose, though. For sure, Cap. If I had to bet on it, I mean, I would still bet on Joanna. I gained a lot of respect for Rose in that fight. I didn't think she was at JoJo's level. I was completely shocked when she knocked out JoJo. I mean, I was off my seat just in awe. And I loved DC. He's becoming a better commentator all the time, but you could just tell, like, he was sitting on the couch right next to me talking to you guys. He just starts screaming, Thug Rose, Thug Rose. It's just such an autonomous reaction, such an automatic and honest reaction to me. I just think he's great. But Joanna did some media after the fight, too. On Sunday, she was on the Ariel Helwani MMA Hour. When she's asked if she might change anything, she said, of course, she's going to stay with her same camp. She loves all the trainers she has right now. She said she expects more out of Rose this time, though, and more out of herself. She says she didn't want to make any excuses, and then she kind of made a bunch of excuses. Rose needs to get rid of Pat Barry. I don't know enough about that to comment. I'm not going to comment on their marriage, though. She said she didn't want to make excuses, but she said her last weight cut. So listen for a second, everybody. I've never heard of a weight cut like this. She said her last weight cut, she cut 15 pounds in 14 hours. If that's true, that should not be allowed. I think that's very dangerous. Rose, on the other hand, she doesn't cut a whole lot of weight, walks around close to her fighting weight. So that if that's true, that definitely could have and probably did make a difference. JJ too stiff and linear. Rose is the opposite, more fluid. That plus all know JJ's entire blueprint by now. Says, wow, I think she's going to be mixing some things up for the next fight. Joanna doesn't have the right mentality for championship level. That's why she fired her nutritionist. Yeah, she did fire her nutritionist. She stayed with the first camp, with the her training camp. She says she loves her training partners in the camp she's in, but I seen she got a new nutritionist. Great job. We seen how big a difference that made for Khabib Nurmagomedov. No problem making weight this time. No one should ever be cutting 15 pounds in 14 hours, though, if that's really true. Joanna also said that she had a leg injury that was bad enough she was afraid to have it looked at because she was in fear that the doctors would definitely cancel the fight. I don't know how much of that's true. I know fighters, seems like they're almost never fully healthy. They're always going in with some kind of injury. Joanna had 60 title defenses. How the fuck does she not have to? I think JJ loses rematch. The next big fight at Straw, Covillo versus Namajunas. RS, yeah. I agree. Joanna was one of my favorite fighters coming into that, and I gained a lot of respect lately for Rose, though, too. I like both of them. I can't wait to see the second fight, though. I'm more hyped for this one than the first one. Let's change gears for a second and talk about Robert Whittaker's staph infection. I'm sure most of you have heard about this recently, but he announced he was being forced to pull out of his title fight defense against Luke Rockhold, of course, at UFC 221. that, you know, his injury was disclosed as a staph infection in the stomach. I had never even heard of a staph infection in the stomach. That sounds insane. But so following UFC 220 on Saturday night in Boston, President Dana White told TSN middleweight champion has been dealing with a mistreated staph infection in his stomach. As he tries to get back to better health, he said Whitaker is in serious condition at the moment. He may never fight again. White said he had staph infection in his stomach. Heard it's very serious. White said his own words were, "From what I understand, it wasn't treated properly and started to eat away at parts of his organs. He's in serious condition, so it's going to be a minute before he's back, I think. Hopefully it turns around quick, but that stuff is life-threatening if not treated the right way." And it looks like he got in a little late, and it was treated later than it could have been. He hasn't said a whole lot about it except for on Instagram. He came out and said he was sick as a dog, and that's pretty much all he said. Can't fight again. He just reached his prime. I hope he can fight again. Definitely is, Cap. I bet Dana regrets making him undisputed champion now. He deserved it, though. I think he did the right thing. Yoel Romero finally gets a chance. He is a monster RS. Yoel Romero still has to get past Luke Rockhold. Don't forget that. I'm picking Yoel in that fight, but never sleep on Luke Rockhold. That dude's a beast. He's beaten a lot of great champions, including Chris Weidman. And, I mean, he cleaned house in Strikeforce. He was an absolute beast over there. He beat a lot of good fighters. So, you know, thoughts and prayers out to Robert Whitaker for a speedy recovery. I'm going to jump into the next subject here, though. As you guys have probably recently seen, Nate Diaz came out and said he's ready to fight. Says he's bored and he wants to fight now. Sure didn't seem to be a problem for Dana White. He moved quickly. In an interview with TMZ yesterday, Dana said, "I'll tell you what, I'll call him today and make him an offer. I don't know. I got to look at the rankings, see where everybody is. I will make Nate Diaz an offer to fight today." So that was yesterday. So the lightweight division is fucked up. Yeah, for sure. So Nate Diaz most likely got some kind of offer yesterday. I would love for Nate to fight Kevin Lee or T. Wood. I'd like to see him fight Kevin Lee. I think T. Wood would destroy him, honestly. What's the offer? It has to be big. I don't know what the offer is. For him to take it, yeah. But I was very, I felt very positive about what Dana said. They asked him about future opponents. First name that came up was Tyron Woodley. Dana said the reality is there's guys like Rafael Dos Anjos and other guys waiting in line for that fight. There's so many guys that deserve that fight before Nate does, and they're going to get it. I agree with him on that. I mean, Nate Diaz has been away. He hasn't been fighting at that fight. He's been super inactive. I love to see him fight. He's got a huge fan base. But to say that he deserves a title shot more than these other guys out there that have been waiting for it, I think is kind of ludicrous. Of course, the next question TMZ asks him is, will his next opponent be Conor McGregor? And he didn't say no. So this is what he said, word for word. He said, "I think people would rather see Conor come back and either fight Tony or Khabib. Conor controls Dana. They should vacate him or give it to Tony." Yeah, that's a weird situation right now. We'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second. But said, "I think people would rather see Conor come back and either fight Tony or Khabib. Whoever wins," White said, and the Nate Diaz fight ain't going nowhere. We can do that anytime. I was happy to hear that, because regardless of belts or whatever, I loved that fight. UFC will set up Tony getting hurt, then makes Khabib Nate. I don't know about that. Tony Ferguson's, it's been a long time since he's lost, for sure. But, I like that. I like the fact that he says that fight ain't going nowhere. We can do that anytime. As I've said before, those are two of my favorite fights of all time. Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz, 1 and 2. Khabib. I think Khabib is just too strong, and his wrestling's too smothering for Tony. I've seen him been taken down by other guys, and once Khabib gets you down on the ground, it's very, very hard to get up. But like I said, I was happy to hear that fight was probably going to happen. I'm going to pass the question off to you guys as far as that. Who do you think Nate should fight next? I heard Tyrone Woodley out there. I don't have a whole lot of answers out there. Conor only beat one guy at lightweight. He struggles with people with bigger range. He does. Nate definitely needs to have a stay busy fight for sure. They won't strip Conor to make that fight for the undisputed belt because Khabib has missed weight 3 times for Tony. Thought it was only 2. Khabib's got his nutritionist. I think he's got everything under control. I don't see him missing weight again this time around. Nate should fight winner Khabib or Tony. Honestly, I don't think he matches up well, definitely with Khabib, probably not with Tony. You haven't seen a better fight back in the day. I said one of my favorites. If I said my favorite, I meant to say one of my favorites. Justin Gaethje is a monster. Talk about some of my favorite fights. Go back if you haven't seen it. Heavyweights, Mark Hunt versus Antonio Bigfoot Silva. That was an incredible fight. Of course, Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonner kind of started it all, but I think there's been a lot better fights since then, honestly. Or go ahead and make Diaz Conor and have Khabib Tony as co-main. I think that's a bit disrespectful to Tony and Khabib, but Conor is the attraction. And Nate Diaz, honestly, Nate Diaz is a bigger attraction than Khabib or Tony, unfortunately, for them, because they have the styles, that make it really tough for guys. Of course, Khabib undefeated. Nate should fight Nick. That would be a hell of a fight. Yeah, I don't see the brothers ever fighting each other. That's really not going to happen at all. Before I go to the last subject, talking about, friends or family fighting each other. Nate GSP, I'd love to see that. GSP's talking about dropping down to 170 anyways. I don't think that's an unwinnable fight for Nate. GSP obviously gassed very quickly. Nate never gasses. Let Nate get him into the 5th round and see what happens. Jones Jr. would kill Silva, says Fred. I still want to see the fight. I don't know. Like I said, he's 48 years old. He's obviously lost some of his reflexes, but he's still Roy Jones Jr. So, yeah, he probably wins it. But I would pay to see the fight. I'm a sucker for gimmick fights. But as far as, teammates fighting each other, and I'm going to kind of move into the next subject with this, I really wondered why Czech Congo wasn't in the Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix. He's on a 5-fight winning streak. Thug Rose says, Fred, I love that. Yeah, he's on a 5-fight winning streak, so I was like, what's going on here? And apparently one of his training partners, he trains, and now it slipped my mind. I want to say it was Mo Lawal. I could be wrong on that. PBC Boxing announced good fights too, just saying. I will PBC, I'm not sure what PBC is. I'm going to have to look into that. It was Rampage. I was just going to say that. It just came to my mind. Thank you, Ronald. Yeah, Rampage. And now that Rampage lost to Chael, Congo's a definite alternate. Let them both juice up for Roy Silva. That would be good. Oh, you get a juiced Roy in there against Silva, and Roy would kill him. I'd rather see Silva juiced and let Roy go in there natural, and we might have a more competitive fight. I'm going to jump into this last subject here before I let you guys take over and kind of talk about what you want to for a little while. We're only about 40 minutes in, and we got about 20 minutes left. So Amanda Nunes has been calling out Chris Cyborg, of course, for quite a while now. So first Cyborg said she didn't want to fight another Brazilian. Then she said Amanda Nunes is only calling her out because she needs her to be famous. A week ago, it's confusing. Cyborg came out, said, for me to be real 145-pound champion, I have to go to Bellator. Every week I see Bellator sign new girls at 145. They made a division for me in Bellator. The UFC made a division for her because she couldn't make 135. I thought that was super disrespectful. So She was front and center for the Bellator event on Friday. She's sitting up there. Scott Coker, they asked Scott Coker about it, and he replied, nothing to see here. Now, 2 days ago, Cyborg announced she's accepted a fight against Amanda Nunes on July 7th at UFC 226. So I want to see that fight. There's only 2 other girls. I do kind of see your point. There's only 2 other girls in the 140-pound division. There's nobody 135 in UFC, only her. Yeah, or 145, yeah. Yeah, it's her, Tony Evinger, and I can't remember the other girl's name. Nobody knows her name. Cyborg smokes Amanda all day. Could happen. She could be too big for her. Amanda's big and strong. I don't know what she walks around at, but she just looks big and thick to me. But I said the same thing about Holly Holm. Amanda Nunes has also got great wrestling, though, and that's why I would give her a better chance against Cyborg, but I underestimated her against Holly Holm. I didn't expect it to be so dominant, and it was completely dominant. Almost no one wanted to fight Cyborg for years, though. So does Amanda Nunes know something? Does she think she knows something, or is this just going to be another Cyborg destruction? You know, why is she calling her out? Maybe, you know, she is just trying to make her name bigger, and she thinks that's the biggest fight out there, the money fight. She thought Holly would win Cyborg. I wanted Holly to win. Realistically, I said Cyborg would probably win. I expected Holly to win more rounds. I don't think she won. I think she won maybe 1 round. You could probably give Cyborg every single round. Oh, Nate Eddie Alvarez. That's the fight they need to make, Mitchell Trevino. You win comment of the night. Sorry, off subject. No, Nate versus Eddie Alvarez. That's the comment of the night. That's the fight I'd like to see. You made me brainstorm, and that would be great. Also, him versus Justin Gaethje. I think somebody else said Nate Diaz and Gaethje. I think they're similar, if not the same weights. I think that'd be great. Cyborg moving to Bellator is a great idea. UFC champ, Invicta champ, Bellator champ, go at women's fighter easy. Bellator, for some reason, has a lot of 145-pound girls. So Cyborg's got 3 fights left on her contract. She's going to get one of them one and done with Amanda Nunes. Then she's got 2 more fights. And she said she'd probably sign with Bellator. I think she might be trying to push the UFC and Dana's hand to try to sign more girls. And she's frustrated that Bellator is signing more girls. But you got to forget, Lorenzo, when there was not a division for Cyborg and she was fighting in Invicta FC, Lorenzo wrote her out a $90,000 check just to say, hey, in the future, if we have a division for you, come fight for us. He literally gave her $90,000 for nothing. And then when she finally said, no, I can't make 135, I don't want to fight catchweight even at 140, they made her a division. Yeah, they need to bring her some fighters in for sure. I think they should try to sign some of those Bellator people. I don't know if there's anybody left in Invicta that she hasn't beaten, or that she wouldn't dominate. It's hard to say. She's not really been challenged in an MMA fight her entire career. Not even close. Not even close. So, Dev, if you're on here, my wife's home from work. I quit my job today.
No, you didn't.
I quit my job today. Do YouTube full time. That was my announcement earlier. I meant to tell you this morning.
Yeah, right.
She doesn't believe me, guys. This is going to be a long night.
If so, I'll go file for divorce in the morning.
Wasn't quite expecting that, but I tell you, with all the integrity in my heart, I did just completely improv that, and I felt a little bad. I forgot to tell her this morning. I was excited to tell you guys, but yeah. Don't say that, Key. Say ouch, but don't say that. Oh man, ouch. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. I'm really pissed. A lot of people would give enough credit to Stipe. Just watch the MMA beat. They were all saying he will never be big. Draw that he reached the ceiling. So Chael Sonnen, I was listening to Chael Sonnen's show, which I'm going to start listening to more. His podcast called You're Welcome. He brought up a really good point. Stipe was really pissed, of course, after the fight. Something that I didn't pick up on because I wasn't paying attention. Dana White always puts the belt on the champion. When he went to put the belt on Stipe after his record-breaking defense, Stipe grabbed the belt out of his hand and handed it to his trainer to put on him. That was a gutsy move. And I almost wonder if him calling out the DC fight was he wants to see Stipe get beat. But Chael brung up he's always paid less than his challengers. His last contract was a lot better. I was looking at some of his paydays. It looked like his disclosed payday in his fight before this last one was $600,000. Overeem Santos. Oh, jeez. Should Bisping retire now or fight once more? I think Bisping should have retired a while ago. I think every time he gets into the cage, he risked permanent sight damage. He wears a patch when he's not in the cage, when he's like in an interview. His eye is so jacked up. Most competitive fight, Chris says, been in was against Gina Carano, and she still finished her easy. Yeah, it was nothing. I actually thought Ronda was going to have a good chance against her because I thought she was going to take her straight to the ground. And then Ronda decides she's going to be frickin' female Mike Tyson. And that jackass coach over there decides to, convinces her she's going to be a great striker. I think if she would have just stayed with her judo base and her wrestling, I think she'd still be a contender. But now she's in the WWE. Come on, Carano wasn't that strong, just pretty face. She was a good fighter. She definitely wasn't as strong as Cyborg, but let's break DC and Stipe down for a minute. I didn't have that on my subject, but I think that's a really interesting fight. I think it's one that DC can win. He fought at heavyweight before. Ronda could have been dominated this day if she didn't have Edmund coaching her. I agree, Key. I mean, I don't know that it's a 100% thing, but I totally agree. He really messed her head up. And when your own mom that's been training you literally since, you were able to walk in judo tells you to get the hell away from this coach, you might want to listen. I think Dana promoted Nagano the way he did so he could bet a lot of money on Stipe, so the odds were on his side. I don't think he bet on that, but Dana does like to bet a lot. I don't want to watch DC Stipe. They should defend their belt more times too soon. Well, Stipe just broke the record, even though it's small for the heavyweights, short record, 3 defenses. But I don't like that fight, Stipe versus DC. I do see a lot of issues with that fight. DC easily outboxes Stipe and wins ground exchange. Stipe's a great boxer. He's got great foot movement, too. Watch his fight against Roy Nelson. One of his earlier fights where he just outboxed the shit out of Roy Nelson. I know Roy Nelson misses a lot and throws a lot of haymakers, but, I mean, Roy Nelson, he couldn't come within 10 feet of him. And look at the head movement that he had against Nagano. Nagano was missing by miles. Wait a minute, I came for David. Asa said, sorry. Oh, is David here? It's still his division and not enough draw. Rose better enjoy this title because Alexa Grasso coming for that title soon. Alexa Grasso. Yeah, if she can get past JoJo, that's definitely no guarantee. What's that?
I'll call him.
Okay. Okay, we're going to make a call to young David and see if we can get him in here for the last 10 minutes. But, yeah, I do see some issues with that fight for DC. Just the reach advantage. He could have that same issue with being shorter that he had against John Jones. Thug Rose definitely a beast. They're saying, David, David. Is he coming?
He's coming.
All right. Mickey Gall versus Mike Perry would be good. Yeah, I want to see Mickey Gall get back in there. I haven't seen, maybe I missed something, but I didn't think he'd been back in there since the CM Punk fight, which he dominated CM Punk, which I'm training for CM Punk now that I don't have a full-time job, guys, CM Punk returned. Yeah, no, he's we're going to get that on. He walks around about 235. I can get down there. We can fight at heavyweight. He's actually the same age as me too, believe it or not. Cap says, "Wifey gonna divorce you?" Yeah, if she doesn't divorce me for quitting my job, she's gonna divorce me for fighting CM Punk. CM versus GSP. Mitchell really hates CM Punk. Wants to see him killed. Only reason DNC isn't commonly known as the GOAT is because of Jones. And that fool is on steroids. DC has a lot of heavyweight experience with killers. Watch his fight versus Josh Barnett. Absolutely incredible. Mickey Gall lost a fight versus Randy Brown. Somehow I missed that, but I'm going to miss a lot less fights now. GSP versus Ben Askren grappling. I seen Ben Askren on Joe Rogan Experience too. That was absolutely incredible, and he said he would definitely come back for a fight with GSP. Thug Rose had an awesome podcast episode on Joe Rogan 2 nights ago. If you're into it, awesome personality. I watched that. I was thoroughly impressed with her. I didn't know a lot about her before that, just that she had a wild haircut and she called herself Thug, but definitely have a lot more respect for her right now. And here is young David.
Hey.
Say hi, young David.
Hey.
He's a little shy, but he's going to get in here. Joe Rogan in love with Rose. I listen to so much Joe Rogan Experience. My wife says that I'm in love with him. But
he definitely has a man crush on Joe Rogan.
Jones is the GOAT. Even if he was on roids, that doesn't boost your fight IQ. Mickey and Perry both coming off losses. That's why it would be good. What, David? Hey, the champ is here. The champ is here. David should have come with Thug Rose Maker. I love it, Asa. I love it. Why didn't you get the dog?
Because I can't hardly walk.
All right. Sorry. He'll be back here in a minute. Apparently, he's letting the dog out, so he's being a good kid. Angela Yee would run the strawweight division. I have not seen her fight. I'm going to have to check that out. But like I said, I'm going to have a lot more time to watch a lot of these fights. Are you guys interested in more in MMA than just Pride and UFC? If you guys are interested in it, I do some Invicta events. I'm going to do some more boxing. I love Glory Kickboxing. I'd like to do as much as we could. If David got his hair, it would be good. Couple of Thug Rose. What you sipping? I am on to Bud Light in a can now that I'm on a new budget. Till this channel gets going. I like boxing, says Mitchell.
You gotta figure out which friend's gonna take you in.
David, the question. DC and John Jones. Is John Jones the GOAT? Because he beat DC, but he failed his PED test. He's the greatest of all time. Soon to be still reserve. Oh, God, I hope I'll stop drinking before I do that. David versus Pat Barry now. What's up, young David? What's up, Victor? Thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for subscribing today, too. I seen your name on there. We're going to take Mike and wife, he said. Oh, God. Yeah, that's going to be a battle here pretty soon. But I'm going to... John Jones passed lie detector test. So did Ted Bundy. That was a good comeback from DC. Stipe is the GOAT. I think Stipe is awesome. But what do you think, David, when you're talking about the greatest of all time? DC's beaten everybody but John Jones. It's the only time he's ever lost. Is he the greatest light heavyweight ever? It's not a lie if you believe it. Do you cover one championship fighting? Angela Yee, only 20 years old, and she's 13. Highest paid female in MMA. Where can I catch them online? I have been wanting to watch them. Can I catch them online or on TV? I have been wanting to watch them as well as more Dream. Even a big Connor would not go spar Vasil. Vasil said he would do MMA. Jones the GOAT, hands down. So what do you think, David? I mean, is it fair to call DC the GOAT because John Jones tested positive for PEDs twice now?
I don't think you should just be calling DC the GOAT. I think you could make the argument about whether Jones should be called the GOAT.
DC top 3 all time, of course, Cobb. I don't think among fight fans that there's... If John Jones had never done steroids, I don't see how there's any argument. He's obviously the GOAT. 30 fights, undefeated. the only
does DC
the only
have a
trip
pretty
up
similar
he had. DC's never lost except
like,
for to
the
John
crazy
Jones.
people.
And he fought
Has he fought a
heavyweights.
lot of those crazy people?
He's
like
fought
everyone,
heavyweights.
like the way John has?
He destroyed Josh Barnett. He won the Strikeforce Heavyweight Grand Prix. He's beaten Alexander Gustafsson. He's beaten Rumble Jones twice. Retired him.
Okay.
He's awesome. If DC defends a couple more times.
Let's see.
I said steroids make it null,
Jones
though.
also
Overeem
beat,
stopped
like, an
steroids and got
entire
KO'd 3 times in a
division.
row. Good point, Key. Royd has not looked the same since then.
And had something so effective that they actually had to change the rules slightly.
What's that?
With his
John
reaching,
Jones?
with his reaching out.
Oh, because of his eye pokes?
Yeah.
I poke Jones. but how many fights has Jones had under USADA before that? Everyone was on roids. Especially in Pride, because they specifically told them that they would not test them. But yeah, a lot of people were on. DC's body has never looked like he's touched a roid in his life, though. Even cutting down to 205, he's got a dad bod. He looks like me, and I barely work out. I'm going to try to fix that soon, but yeah. He's a strong dude. For some reason, his body just doesn't show it. Last fight, John Jones, DC doesn't count. I agree. DC can't be the GOAT if he lost twice to someone who's never beaten. It's hard not to just go to Jones' resume. I agree. Let Jones and DC fight. Only in DC takes roids. I don't want to see John Jones and DC fight again. That's the one fight I don't want to see again. John Jones, I imagine, no matter what USADA said, is probably going to be tied up for at least another year. And Daniel Cormier just said that a year from March he'll turn 40 and he will retire. He will not fight a day after 40. And really? I think he'll probably retire before John Jones comes back. John Jones might, maybe John Jones can fight some boxing matches. Why not? If you use steroids, you're irrelevant in my eyes. Fight clean or go fight somewhere. Fight overseas somewhere. He's not a pure boxer, though. You're right. Yeah. I would love to see John DC. The best ever would be the winner. DC on roids would probably be a rhino. DC is great. No gear, just KFC. That's awesome. I would like to know what his diet's like. Just make them fight to death. It's easy to figure out. Oh, God, Asa. Asa is one of your biggest fans. That should tell you something, David. Asa's been calling for you all day. Since they came in, DC will never fully retire until he has another shot at Jones. I don't know that he wants to fight him, Jones. Jones should come back and beat Stipe in the heavyweight division. As little DC, everyone is on the card.
Death? You mean UFC with no weight classes and head stomps?
Yeah. Not in a creepy way, though. Yeah, I didn't figure. Oblique strength with a DC. Ask David what he thinks about you quitting your job. Yeah, I'm not sure he knows about that either. Yeah, let's bring him back here. I would literally kill you. You could never kill John. I'm with the deathmatch idea. Call the ambulance. We in the shit. So, David, I announced to everybody earlier, and I didn't get a chance to you guys earlier, and I forgot, but I'm sorry. I quit my job today. David gonna quit school? No, RS isn't good. David's gonna go. I'm quitting Grocery Outlet. He's completely off the camera. What happened to John wanting to fight Brock?
All right. What happened to Because he'll be looking for a new place to live. If that's okay.
Well, so if she does divorce, are you still going to do vids? It might be Tales from the Shed. He's joining UFC. Ambulance. Tell the truth, as I said. No, David, I'm going to be doing what I've always wanted to do, a lot more things on the internet. Give myself more time to do my eBay stuff, my YouTube stuff, and I'm going to do the on-demand merchandising with Jive. So I have a more free schedule. So I have a more free schedule to be with you guys. I'm going to give my notice. Good luck, bro. Thank you very much, Tango. It's your guys' fault. You gave me 30,000 views on that video. No. And I greatly appreciate it because I've been sick of retail for a long time. And I'll tell you, since I even started thinking about making that decision, I have been so much happier. Mike gonna let divorce go to Las Vegas for the Performance Institute. 300 subs to go. That's right, RS. Get your friends out there. 300 subs to go. Where do you work? I work right here now. No, okay, great. No. I worked for Winco for 16 years. The last almost 4 years I've been working for a grocery outlet, a small grocery chain on the West Coast. Hopefully it all works out, my guy. Well, thank you. Thank you, Quill. I think you should always chase your dreams. Yeah, David is in probably a little bit of shock. I'm sorry, son. I didn't mean to spring it on you like that on here, but I'm going to have more time to spend with you guys. I promise.
Definitely have to go back to work then, because we don't want that.
Screw that, man. Good luck on your other pursuits. Thank you so much, Key. I just had to call the ambulance.
No, the
so
ambulance.
For the ambulance, yeah. David,
some,
like, I'm going to be the man of the house now. Now make David get a job. Oh, oof. Hey, David, I heard Grocery Outlet's hiring.
No, not getting a job yet. I have school and learning stuff.
Yes, you do need to finish. He does need to finish school so he can chase his dreams and not wait till he's almost 40. Yeah, she'll hopefully get over it. Or she'll leave me. We'll see.
It's not like I
Your
have
brother sounds like tense. No, my brother's my son. But, well, she's a wife, says that. So, yeah, yeah, for sure. And she's my sugar mama now. She's making more money than I am. Don't need to start hitting them pads, man. Got to win that belt and put that food on the table. They are never happy. Yeah, I'm definitely going to drop some weight. Definitely try to get into some jiu-jitsu classes, but I'm going to be doing a lot of studying.
What money are you going to pay for jiu-jitsu classes, jackass?
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of eBay. For you, those of you that are worrying about
You
that,
never
me
made
and those family,
much money off eBay. You did it for like 5 years and made a few $100.
I'm going to have a lot more money to spend time on eBay, doing other things on the internet. I just took my first BJJ class last night. Awesome, Asa. I believe it's one of the best things you can do for yourself, jiu-jitsu and judo.
5 years
That's awesome. I recommend
it
it definitely.
I'm pretty sure you lost a couple $100.
That's alternate facts. That's not true. Fake news. Fake news, David. David pisses Cap. Say hi to Cap, David.
Hey, Cap.
She's moving in with you, I think, Cap.
Cap's always on there. Oh man, Cap's my moderator, but I don't know if he's that close with me. Hey, this is gonna be great. Just the last couple of minutes. Tell me, what more would you like to see? Would you guys like to see me do more fight companions of anything else? I do have UFC Fight Pass. He's going to Fred the Shed. I love it, Cap. Great pun. Who's going to pay for David's university now? Hey, I got my my stock to fall back on, but it's going to be a year and a half from a former employer. But yeah, I got to wait a little while on that still. But what do you get? Are you guys interested in Invicta? I don't know who here has Fight Pass. I don't know if you guys pay for Fight Pass. I would definitely do a Invicta.
Yeah,
if enough people wanted to see it, we'll do a fight companion with Alaska Fighting Championships. I think it's pretty awesome, actually. Boxing fights would be cool. Joshua Parker, definitely. ESPN's got quite a few boxing matches. I think so by February 18th, this is the schedule. I'll be doing 2 Belladors, 4 UFCs, and I believe there's 2 ESPN fights, and pretty much anything else I can find. UFC, Bellator, and boxing. Well, I'm on it, Cap. I'm on it. So the deadline for 1,000 subscribers, February 20th, and the Cowboy's going to be my man. Donald Cerrone. The Donald Cerrone fight will have to be the fight to bail me out. Women's volleyball, says Asa Bailey. Hey, I got a real question for you guys in a minute. But Donald Cerrone is going to be the guy that might have to bail me out. That's February 18th. I'm going to be doing that fight, the Fight Night FS1. The deadline for 1,000 subscriptions is February 20th. So it'll be my last chance. Derek Lewis on that card. Yes. Ooh. Yes, he is. We also got Mark Hunt coming up. On an undercard thing coming up. That's going to be scary. I picked a real good time to be 3 weeks away from 1,000 subscribers, because I have at least 6 shows I can do. I'm pretty excited. Derek Lewis has good potential. Yes, he definitely does. You got Facebook page. Yes, I do have a Facebook page. I'm actually. You should not put on as many. You should put on as many companions as possible. I'm definitely going to. Black Beast pinned this out. Yeah, Black Beast is awesome. Hit that subscriber count. Yes, please, everybody, hit that subscriber count. We're we're about 375 away, so we got to get there. Derek Lewis is. Oh my God. Is this nickname the Black Mamba? Yeah, he looks like a big dude. I'm sure he does well down in that department. His
nickname is the Black Mamba.
I don't know if that's true, but it's true. All right, sis. That's probably a good nickname. I think his girlfriend gave him that. I'm gonna need to get a few sponsors, but one more question. I know a lot of you are football fans. A lot of your fight fans, a lot of you are probably going to Super Bowl parties. Is there anybody out there, if I do a Super Bowl companion for the Philadelphia Eagles and the New England Patriots, by the way, go Eagles, would you guys be interested in that? Hanging out with us on Super Bowl. If you don't let me know here, think about it. Let me know down in the comments. I'll ask it a couple more times in the future. I know it's not a fight thing, but I thought it might be a good idea. Nagano, Derek Lewis. Nagano, Derek Lewis might be a great fight. I would love to see that. Just do every UFC event plus whatever else you want to do and people will watch. Thank you, K Green. Or Key Green. Huh. Do it. What's up, David? Steven says hi. Hey. I might check it out. Got no plans yet. All right, sweet. Don't get Super Bowl in Scotland. I'm sorry about that, Earl. Well, hey, if enough people are interested, and honestly, I'm probably going to end up doing it, guys. Neither in Portugal. So you can watch my stream, and I'll keep you guys updated. I haven't made a final decision yet, but I know I'm not working, and I'm leaning towards I probably will do a whatever you want to call it, football companion on Fights with Friends. We'll all get together and do a Super Bowl. And who are you guys for? Who in here is going for the Eagles and who's going for the Patriots? What's up, Fred? Young David. Hey, young David. Fred says hi.
Hey.
Who's going for the Eagles and who's going for the Patriots? I know we're in overtime here, but this is a good episode. A lot to cover. Fred Mike needs to come live with you. Eagles. I'm with the Eagles. In your shed. Live. In your shed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Not live. Live. Eagles. Yes. I want Eagle. What fucking Tom Brady says Mitchell Trevino. I was not happy with those calls in that Jaguars game, especially at the end of that first half against the Patriots. I don't know how much of a hard-on they have for Tom Brady, but I just say I was a little pissed. Yeah, they made some good plays in there, but I did not agree with all the play calling in that game. If you guys watch that, I hate Tom Brady. He's such a sissy. I'm just tired of seeing the same damn team in the Super Bowl and win every year. Eagles have never won a Super Bowl. Let them get one. Well, you can bring your own sleeping bag, Mike. Thanks, Fred. Hey, I got a place to stay. Yeah, Jags got ripped off. I think so, too. They got a couple yeah, and they were huge calls. I thought there was 2 possible huge pass interference calls that could have been called on the New England Patriots. I thought one was very blatant, and it could have been game-changing. Well, don't you like undefeated UFC champs? I do. Brady wants to play until he's 45. I seen a headline. I hadn't clicked on it yet because I was looking at MMA stuff today. It said something about how long Brady wants to play. I hope he didn't really say that. Oh, my God. I'm sick of seeing Tom Brady. I want to see Russell Wilson get in there and, win a couple more championships for us now that they revamped that entire front office. Lawrence Taylor needs to come back, start sacking Brady. I would love to. Oh, God. He's like 60 at least. It does seem different with other sports, though. Yeah, it would be different. I'd like to try it. I mean, it'd be interesting. If anything, you know, we could talk about what's going on, argue if we agree with calls, disagree with calls. I'll let you know, what I think they should do in certain situations. How about them Cowboys, says Mitchell. Yeah, how about them?
If you want to put this in chat.
But Lawrence Taylor going to start breaking legs. Oh, for sure. How long have you been training BJJ? I trained mostly judo, which comes from BJJ. I did train a little bit with some BJJ guys while I was doing judo.
Okay.
But all the ground game comes from judo, and that was my favorite part of it. I was decent with throws, but I always wanted to get it to the ground, get the judo, get the chokes, get the arm bars. Did you look at Anthony Joshua versus Parker? Yes, I did. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a great fight. I mean, David did some judo, and so did Rebecca. How about you put up a donation thing and let us get you wasted during it? I'll donate.
$10.
Thank you, Asa. And that's my plan for making money. Is you guys are all going to support me. I'm going to be the bum on the air. Now, when I get to 1,000 subscribers, and I have a thing called Super Chat, people can do things called they sponsor comments. Basically make donations from $2 to $10. I'll donate to you. Well, thank you, RS. I just set up my Patreon. I haven't decided what to do with it yet, but I'm really going to work on that. And I actually know a guy. Parker is a top 5 heavyweight. Joshua is top 3 heavyweight. It'd be a great fight. Oh, for sure. I pick Anthony Joshua on that one. I don't know as much about Parker. But thank you guys so much for the support. I know a guy that does a similar thing as me. Not a lot of people are doing it. I'll buy you a 4-pack of Steel Reserve for each one. All right, you're on, Asa. You've got Parker. Hey, we'll have to go against each other on that one. That'll be awesome. How is Joshua top 3? He is number 1. Yeah, that'll be great. Like I said, yeah, I'm working with Patreon. Once I get to the Super Chat and 1,000 subscribers, I know a fellow YouTuber that does a show similar to me. He's been doing it for a little longer. He was nice enough to take me under his wing a little bit and give me a few tips, like getting the full Adobe shop, which I'm ordering soon. When is Silva fight? That fight has not been made, the Silva Roy Jones Jr. fight. I think it will, though. I said top 3 because it's arguable. Joshua Wilder and Fury is top 3. Oh, for sure. David wasn't in here earlier. What do you think about Roy Jones Jr. and Anderson Silva in a boxing match? Roy Jones is 48.
I don't.
Anderson Silva used to be a professional boxer.
How old is Silva now?
Wondering, I hadn't seen it.
Wait, Silva used to be a professional boxer?
I want to say Anderson Silva's 42 or 43. He had some professional boxing matches, yeah. What, Fury's retired? Wilder's just hyped. I know Fury retired. I thought he said he was coming back, but I'm not sure. Tyson Fury, that guy's a head case.
It's been so long since I've watched Silva, I don't
Is
remember
Nate Diaz back?
Really.
Nate Diaz said he was back. Dana White said he was going to offer him a contract tonight, actually. Said that yesterday. Fury is back. He's fighting Briggs soon. That's what I thought. Are we talking Shannon Briggs? Because that guy has been fighting like since before I was born, I swear. He's got to be at least 50. As far as a Facebook, I'm going to set up after this. Let's go, champ. I'm going to set up after this. I'm going to set up a Fights with Friends Facebook. So we have our own Facebook. You can find me on Fights with Friend on Twitter. My email, I'll put in the link down below, is Fights with Friends. If you have anything you want to talk about, just want to email me personally. It's Fights with Friends, capital F, only on fights, @gmail.com. And I'll put that in the links. I'm on Shannon RS. Does anyone know how old Shannon Briggs is? Can somebody look that up? I wasn't even sure he was still alive. I was watching him when I was younger than David. And he was old then. I kind of thought he might have a major belt at one time, but it never worked out for him. But, oh my God, yeah, it seems like he really shouldn't be fighting right now. He doesn't get old.
20-year
kind of like Bernard Hopkins fight until he's 50. God, that guy was
20-year veteran.
Amazing. How old is Shannon Briggs? We're gonna figure it out. Oh God, he looks old in the
he has an
picture here. So let's say 53.
He has an old. Oh, it doesn't show. He has an old man.
It doesn't say his age.
I'm going down.
Just He was born in 1971. Oh, no, that makes me feel old. He's only 7 years older than me?
Oh, yeah, he was born in 1971.
Okay, so that makes him about 46, 47. I'm 39, so I could still fight. See, he's fighting at 46. B-Hop was fighting until 50. And you ever doubt some of these fighters that lose their first fight, like
He's
Aaron
also
Pico?
from Brooklyn.
Like Aaron Pico. Watch that last Aaron Pico fight, by the way, against Shane Kutchner, if you can find that out there. Great knockout. When Wilder fights Ortiz, we'll find out if he's overhyped.
Yeah, he's been training boxing since he was 17.
Hopefully I get a chance to commentate that one. Yeah, Shannon Briggs has been in a lot of wars. Had a lot of talent. Where was I just going? What was I just talking about?
Mainly he was in K1 for a while.
I'm losing.
Maybe less beer.
Wilder kills Ortiz. I'm only on one beer. I don't do good fight companions and shows when I drink too much beer. Wilder's just hyped because he's the only American in the picture. Yeah, probably. I mean, we always won an American heavyweight champion, and it's been a while. Yeah, Ortiz is a monster. He's ranked number 4. I wouldn't mind seeing an American back as heavyweight champion. I want to do a lot more boxing. I'm going to get back into boxing. I want to call let's make boxing great again. We will see. Ortiz would give Joshua trouble. David, ever seen original UFCs?
I have seen classic UFCs. I do remember when I don't remember their names, but with first UFC fight when he kicked the guy's teeth out
against the sumo wrestler.
And Tank Abbott versus Polar Bear.
Tank Abbott was a freaking beast. Yeah, I brought David up right. He's seen the Hoist Gracie. He's seen some of the first fights.
Speaking of classic UFC, do you think
Tank was a badass?
If in modern times, with how better people are at MMA, that if modern times they were to bring back no weight classes and original rules, that people would actually die?
Yes.
Yes?
Absolutely.
I was thinking so.
There's weight classes now for a reason.
I was thinking so. I was thinking people would probably end up dying.
We don't want to see John Jones.
Oh, I don't want to see it.
But yeah, we don't want to see John Jones against Conor McGregor. RS depends. Oh, it depends. There's definitely some lower weight fighters that can beat some heavyweight fighters. But look at Tito Ortiz at the end of his career, pretty much shot. He fights Alexander Shevchenko.
But Nagano
huge weight
is probably going to just...
Tito Ortiz beats Shevchenko in his prime. No, gloves are actually safer.
I like no weight classes when they agree.
Gloves are to protect the hands. Jones versus Mighty Mouse. Yeah, that's the kind of ridiculous conversations
versus Mighty Mouse.
You would end up talking about. So,
Nagano versus TJ Dillashaw.
Gegard Mousasi beat Mark. That's true. A lot of that stuff happened in Pride. They didn't care as much about weight class. There's some crazy stuff. Who doesn't like watching tiny people beat up giants? That's all Pride was about. Oh God, how many monsters did Sakuraba fight back in the day? Guys that were 150 pounds bigger than him. BJ Penn and Machida. I kind of feel like they're both kind of shot at this point. I wish Machida would retire too. I was not happy with his last 2 fights, and I wish he would.
How old are they now?
BJ Penn's only like 35, I believe, but I don't think he should be fighting either.
They've been fighting for a long time.
Joe's been swinging DJ.
Both of them have been fighting as long as I
It'd have to be a tag team. I miss Sakuraba too. He was great. It'd have to be a tag team. It'd have to be like TJ Dillashaw and Demetrius Johnson versus John Jones, because John Jones' walk-around weight is the same weight as Demetrius Johnson and TJ Dillashaw put together. And then it just starts to get a little too WWE. I don't know. I mean, I know Ronda went over there, but
and Broccoli Man.
Oh, what do we got? If they were to start an open weight division of all weight classes in the UFC, I have no doubt Conor McGregor would be the champion. Oh, here's BB, the Fook and Conor McGregor ball rider. I still love you, BB. If DJ had Jones' height and reach, DJ would put Jones up. Oh, great. Demetrius Johnson is one of the most skilled fighters ever. You got to say he's the best pound for pound of all time. Even if John Jones hadn't tested positive for PEDs, he still might be. Demetrius Johnson is just so incredibly talented.
I actually watched.
I want to see DJ
TJ
versus TJ. Do you think they will ever allow male versus female fights in the UFC? I really hope not, and I don't think so. What about John Jones? John Jones could be coming back in the next year or so. We'll see. Conor McGregor is losing hype. Money has gone to his head. Chael Sonnen said that on the show today.
Him actually, and his fuck you shoot. Yeah.
As far as, Chael Sonnen was as big as hype guy as anybody, but he also fought a lot. When he wasn't suspended, he stayed pretty active. DJ versus Cyborg for the real with weight difference. Oh, God. Cyborg might take him. I think we all see men versus robots before men versus women. Conor versus... I can't wait to see Conor versus Nate 3. I know it's going to be unpopular. Belts be damned. I want to see Conor versus Nate 3. They can each fight somebody else first, but we got to see that fight. Khabib is a bear. Khabib fights bears. Khabib wrestles with bears. Why do you want to mess with that guy? I'll fight a robot. Would be sex, says Asa. They've talked about... they had that movie, what was that, Real Steel?
Yeah.
Where they moved away from boxing, where they used the robots and they fought against each other. Have you guys noticed how big esports, and David would know something about esports is getting?
It's so never going... You're never going to have robots fighting each other like that. Esports are a completely different thing. They're not... Even if they were to replace sports, they want to replace sports with the exact same sports, but technological.
But do we ever get to a day to where we're not watching football anymore, and instead of UFC,
I definitely think
we're watching two people fighting on Xbox One on UFC 3? I definitely
think we get to a day where we're not watching football anymore.
Anyone see Charles Johnson versus
an indefinite sport?
Charles Bronson or was that Death Wish 3? Who's getting UFC on PS4? 4 more days. I really want to get that, but I
don't have a PS4.
I did just give up some funds. Oh, actually, I'm on Xbox One. Sorry, Cap. Conor McGregor can make grave errors once, but not twice. Trust me. There's levels to this game, and he's the king. And all right, BB. And with that, BB kissing the Conor McGregor throne. What do you think about Conor, David?
I think Conor McGregor is a good fighter. Even if we haven't seen him much.
Job no right for Xbox. I love it, RS.
I honestly think Conor McGregor could go in and wipe out divisions.
So actually, I
haven't seen that much.
I didn't pay for the Xbox. Actually, my brother-in-law...
he bought himself
gave me and David an Xbox One as a gift, and he bought himself the Xbox One S. So I still have to sign up for the Xbox Live. I will get you my gamer tab as soon as I get that here, hopefully the first of this month. So we're way over what I thought we were going to be. I'm glad we went over, though, because we kept it interesting. Thank you guys so much. I can't believe that you are all willing to sit and listen to us rant for so long, but man, it was a lot of fun. We got some stuff to do tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and go. You guys have a great night. Enjoy your families, and please tune in tomorrow for Friday. Don't forget Double Fight Companion this weekend. Thank you, RS. Bellator, Friday Bellator, Saturday UFC. Thank you, Cap. God bless to you. Have a good night to you, Fred. Wait, I have to tell you something. It's not about Conor McGregor, is it, BB? See ya. Thank you, Asa. How's it going? Hello, Joanna. You're a little later. Later, guys. We're going to kick it out for now. Everybody, it is Beer 30. Grab your beers. Good night.
Peace.